Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. Today, we're diving into a coin that might just be hiding in your pocket change and could be worth a whole lot more than just 1 cent. I'm talking about the 1964 Lincoln penny. This coin may seem like a common find, but trust me, if you know what to look for, you could have a small fortune in your hands. Rarest coins. Before we dive into what makes the 1964 Lincoln penny so valuable, let's take a quick look at its basic design. The 1964 penny is part of the famous Lincoln series, first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln. The obverse, or front, features Lincoln's iconic portrait, while the reverse, or back, originally showcased the wheat stalk design, which was used until 1958. Starting in 1959, the reverse of the penny was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. So, the 1964 Lincoln penny is one of the last years to feature the memorial reverse, making it a key piece for many collectors. But there's something about this particular penny that makes it stand out, especially if you know what to look for. Here's the first thing you need to know. The 1964 Lincoln penny was minted during a special time in U.S. coin history. For most of the 20th century, pennies were made of a copper and tin alloy, but in 1964, something interesting happened. For 1 year only, due to the rising cost of copper, the U.S. Mint produced pennies with a higher percentage of copper, making them copper-clad. While most pennies in circulation today are composed of zinc and copper, the 1964 penny contains 95% copper, which gives it a unique weight and appearance. This higher copper content is part of what makes the 1964 penny special. But there's another reason why this penny is worth a lot of money. Rarest coins. Now, here's where things get really interesting. There are some rare 1964 Lincoln pennies that feature a double die obverse error. This is where the design on the coin is struck multiple times, creating a double image, or a doubling, especially in the lettering and date. The most common places where you will see this doubling are the words "A Liberty" and "Day in God We Trust," as well as the date itself. If you take a good look at a 1964 penny with this error, you'll see that the letters have a shadow or appear blurry, almost like a second set of outlines around them. This doubling occurs when the die used to strike the coin was misaligned or shifted slightly during the minting process. Finding a 1964 penny with this kind of doubling is extremely rare, which is why it's so highly sought after by collectors. But there's another aspect that adds value to these coins, and that's their condition. Rarest coins. Like any rare coin, the condition of the 1964 double die penny plays a huge role in its value. Coins are graded based on their level of wear and tear, and this is what determines their market value. A coin in excellent condition with minimal wear, known as a uncirculated or as mint state, will be worth much more than one that's heavily worn and shows signs of handling. To give you an idea, a 1964 double die penny in average circulated condition might be worth around $100 to $200. However, a well-preserved example in mint state could easily fetch anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 or even more, depending on the clarity of the doubling and the conditio. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. Today, we've got an exciting topic for you, the 1960 Lincoln penny. A coin that's not just another penny in your pocket, but could actually be worth a lot of money. If you're a collector or just someone who loves finding rare treasures, stick around as we explore why this coin is so special and how you can cash in on its potential value. First things first, let's talk about the 1960 Lincoln penny itself. This coin was minted in 1960 at the Denver Mint, and it features the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. That's the front of the coin, and a simple wheat stalk design on the reverse. But there's something about this penny that sets it apart from the millions of others made that year. Most of the 1960 pennies you'll find are relatively common, and they're worth, well, exactly 1 cent. But the 1960 is different because of an interesting variety that can make this penny worth much more than its face value. $3 million rarest coins. Let's dive deeper into the mystery behind the 1960 Lincoln penny. There's something special about some of these coins called a double die error. This happens when the design is stamped onto the coin multiple times, causing certain elements of the design to appear doubled or blurry. With the 1960D penny, the most notable doubling can be found in the lettering on the obverse, especially the words "A Liberty" and "A in God We Trust," and even the date itself. You'll notice that the letters and numbers appear to have a shadow or second image next to the original stamp. This doubling happens because of an error in the die used to strike the coin, and it's what makes this penny so valuable. Now, here's the big question: how rare is this error? Well, the 1960D double die penny is quite rare compared to other coins. While many 1960D pennies were struck normally, only a small number experienced this double die error. Because of this, these pennies are highly sought after by collectors and can fetch a premium price. Some of these rare 1960D double die pennies have been sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars, depending on the coin's condition and how severe the doubling is. It's a coin that can turn a simple penny jar into a gold mine. So how do you know if you've found one of these valuable pennies? It's all about the details. Here's what you need to look for. 1. The date. First, check the year. Obviously, it's got to be 1960D. The D mint mark is found on the reverse, below the date. 2. Look at the letters. Check the lettering on the obverse. If you see any doubling in the word "Liberty" or "In God We Trust," that's a big indicator. 3. The shape of the numbers. The number A1960 on the coin should have a clear doubling effect, especially around the 9 and the 6. The doubling is often most prominent on the AL in A Liberty and on the number A6 in the date, but it can vary from coin to coin. So, grab your magnifying glass and examine your pennies closely. Rarest coins. Now, let's talk about the value. How much could your 1960D penny be worth? Well, it really depends on its condition and the extent of the doubling. A coin with only light doubling might be worth around $100 to $200, but in excellent condition with heavy doubling, we're talking about a price that could reach $2,000 or more at auction. That's a lot of change for just one penny. The condition of the coin is crucial here. And welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. If you've ever wondered if there's hidden treasure in your pocket change, today's your lucky day. We're going to be talking about a coin that could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. The 1970D Lincoln penny. While it may seem like just another penny at first glance, this particular coin has some very unique features that make it incredibly valuable to collectors. So, let's dive in and find out why this little penny might just be worth a fortune. Before we get into the exciting details of why the 1970D Lincoln penny is worth a lot of money, let's first take a look at what makes this coin unique. The 1970D penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial series, which started in 1959 and continued until 2008. The obverse, or front, features the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse displays the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. Rarest coins. Now, the 1970D penny was minted as the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D mint mark below the date. It's part of a large mintage, so on the surface, it doesn't seem like anything special. But here's the twist. There's one particular variety of this coin that makes it incredibly rare and valuable to collectors. Here's where things get interesting. In 1970, the U.S. Mint accidentally produced a small number of pennies that were supposed to have a D mint mark, but they were struck without it. This is what's known as the 1970D no mint mark penny. Normally, pennies from the Denver Mint will have a clear D mint mark under the date, indicating they were struck at that facility. But a few coins from this year, for reasons still debated by numismatists, were accidentally struck with no mint mark at all. These rare coins are highly sought after by collectors because they're a result of a minting error, and that error makes them much more valuable than the standard 1970D penny. Rarest coins. So how did this error happen? The truth is, no one knows for sure. Some believe that the dies used to strike the 1970D penny were worn or improperly prepared, resulting in the missing mint mark. Others speculate that it was a mistake made during the production process, where the mint mark wasn't properly applied to the die. Regardless of the cause, The result was a very limited number of 1,970 pennies that were produced without the usual mint mark. Collectors didn't notice the error at first, but once it was discovered, these coins became highly coveted, and prices began to rise. So how much is the 1,970 no mint mark penny worth? Well, the value of this coin can vary quite a bit depending on its condition and whether it's authenticated. In circulated condition, you might see these coins selling for a few $100s, but as the coin's grade improves, so does its price. For example, a 1,970 no mint mark penny in good to fine condition could sell for anywhere between $300 to $500, but coins that are in excellent condition, particularly those that are graded as MS65 or higher by professional grading services, can easily fetch over $1,000, and in some cases, even more. Rarest coins at auction, especially if the coin has been authenticated and graded by reputable service like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. The 1,970 no mint mark penny can command upwards of $2,000 or more for the highest quality specimens. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. If you're a fan of rare coins or just curious about what's hiding in your spare change, you're in for a treat today. In this video, we'll be talking about the 1,975 Lincoln penny, a coin that, depending on its unique characteristics, could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. So, let's dive into the world of rare pennies and find out why this one could be your golden ticket. Let's start with the basics. The 1,975 Lincoln penny is part of the famous Lincoln series, which has been minted since 1909. It features President Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, and the classic reverse designate. Depending on the exact year, it could be the wheat stalks or the memorial design. The 1,975 penny, minted in Denver, carries the D mint mark just below the date, telling us that it was produced at the Denver Mint. At first glance, this penny might look like just another common coin from the 1970s, but there's something about the 1,975 that makes it stand out among the crowd, especially for collectors. So, what makes it valuable? Let's break it down. One of the key reasons the 1,975 Lincoln penny is worth a lot more than its face value is due to an error known as the double die obverse or DDO. This happens when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned and the design is stamped onto the coin more than once. The result: some areas of the coin, like the lettering, appear to have a double or blurry effect. Rarest coins with the 1,975 penny, the most noticeable doubling appears in the word Liberty, the date 1975, and the motto In God We Trust. You'll notice that parts of these inscriptions seem to be doubled, which is a hallmark of the double die error. So how rare is this error? Well, while not all 1,975 pennies have the double die feature, a surprising number do. However, not every double die is created equal. The extent of the doubling varies from coin to coin. Some might show just a slight doubling, while others display a more obvious, dramatic effect. While there are a good number of 1,975 pennies with this error, they're still considered rare, and that rarity makes them highly desirable to collectors. The value increases depending on how clear and pronounced the doubling is, with coins in excellent condition commanding the highest prices. Now let's talk value. So, how much could your 1,975 Lincoln penny be worth? Well, it all depends on a few key factors: the degree of doubling, the coin's condition, and how well preserved the coin is. Coins with moderate doubling, in average circulated condition, could be worth anywhere from $50 to $200, but if the doubling is especially clear and prominent, and the coin is in great shape, you could see values reaching $500, $1,000, or even more for a high-quality example. In fact, well-preserved, high-quality examples of the 1,975 double die penny have been sold for upwards of $2,000 at auction. That's no small change for a penny that's over 40 years old. Rarest coins. So, How do you know if you've found a 1975D penny with this rare double die error? It's all about the details, and here's what to look for. 1. The date. First, check the date. Make sure it's 1975 and that it has the mint mark D right below it. 2. The word day Liberty. Examine the letters closely. The L and I in Liberty are usually the first places to show doubling. If the letters seem to have a, welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. If you're like most people, you probably toss your pennies into a jar or spend them without a second thought. But did you know that certain pennies, like the 1971 Lincoln penny, can actually be worth a whole lot more than just 1 cent? Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, today we're going to dive deep into the 1971 Lincoln penny and explore why it could be hiding a potential fortune in your change. Let's get into it. First, let's take a quick look at the basics of the 1971 Lincoln penny. The obverse of the coin features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This is the same design used on pennies since 1909. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, which was introduced in 1959, replacing the wheat stock design that had been in use since the penny's debut. 1971 was part of a time when pennies were primarily made of copper, and the minting process was pretty consistent. But while the 1971 Lincoln penny doesn't seem particularly rare, there's a key aspect of this coin that makes it a lot more valuable than you might think. One of the reasons the 1971 Lincoln penny is worth more than face value is due to a special error that occurred during its minting, a double die obverse error. This is a type of minting error where the design on the coin is struck multiple times, creating a doubling effect in the letters and numbers. The double die error typically happens when the die, which carries the design, is misaligned or hits the coin more than once during the striking process. In the case of the 1971 Lincoln penny, this error results in noticeable doubling on the words "A Liberty" and "A in God We Trust," as well as the date itself. This gives the coin a distinctive look that collectors love. If you look closely at the word "A Liberty" on a 1971 double die penny, you'll see a blurry, shadowed effect on the letters, almost as if they were stamped twice. This type of doubling is what makes the coin incredibly desirable to collectors. Rarest coins. Now, you might be wondering, how much is a 1971 double die penny worth? Well, it can actually be worth quite a bit, especially if it's in good condition. A 1971 penny with a double die error in typical circulated condition might sell for anywhere from $100 to $200, but that's just the beginning. If you have a 1971 double die penny in excellent or uncirculated condition, it could be worth a lot more. High-grade examples, particularly those graded by professional services like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or a professional coin grading service, PCGS, can easily fetch $1,000 or more at auction. In fact, some of the top-grade specimens have sold for as much as $2,000 or even higher, depending on the rarity and condition. Rarest coins. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds great, but how can I tell if I have a 1971 double die penny? Well, let me walk you through it. 1. Examine the date. Start by looking at the date on the coin. The doubling is often most noticeable on the numbers in a 1971, especially the 1 and the 7. You'll see a shadowed or blurry second image of the number, which is the hallmark of a double die error. 2. Check the letters. Next, examine the word "A Liberty" and the phrase "A in God We Trust." If there is visible doubling or a shadow effect in the letters, that's a clear sign you might have a double die penny. 3. Use magnification. It can be hard to see the doubling. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. If you've ever wondered whether there's treasure hiding in your pocket change, today we've got an exciting discovery for you. We're diving into the 1970D Lincoln penny, a coin that, at first glance, may seem ordinary, but could actually be worth a lot more than its face value. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a beginner just starting to explore the world of rare coins, this video is for you. So, let's get started and uncover the hidden value of the 1970D Lincoln penny. First things first, let's talk about the basics of the 1970D Lincoln penny. The coin itself features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, which was designed by Victor David Brenner. This image has been used on Lincoln pennies since 1909. The reverse of the coin showcases the Lincoln Memorial, which replaced the wheat stock design in 1959. The 1970 penny, as the name suggests, was struck at the Denver Mint, with the AD mint mark located just below the date. Rarest coins at first glance. The 1970 Lincoln penny might appear to be just like any other penny you come across, especially since there were more than 2.6 billion of them minted. But don't let the high mintage fool you. The 1970 penny has some surprising quirks that make it valuable to collectors. One of the most famous and valuable varieties of the 1970 Lincoln penny is the 1970 no mint mark error. This is an interesting story that has intrigued collectors for decades. During the production of the 1970 penny, a small number of these coins were struck without the usual AD mint mark A, and that missing mint mark made these coins much rarer than their counterparts. Now, normally, pennies produced at the Denver Mint have a AD mint mark under the year, indicating they were struck at that facility. But in 1970, for reasons that are still unclear, a small group of coins was produced without the mint mark A, and these coins are considered one of the most famous errors in U.S. coinage history. As a result, the 1970 no mint mark penny has become a highly sought-after item for collectors. Rarest coins. So, just how much can a 1970 no mint mark penny be worth? Well, the value of this coin can vary depending on its condition, but it can be surprisingly valuable. In general, a 1970 penny with a missing mint mark in circulated condition might sell for anywhere between $300 to $500. However, as the coin's condition improves, its value increases significantly. For example, a 1970 no mint mark penny in mint state or uncirculated condition can easily fetch over $1,000, and in some cases, it can go for even more, sometimes reaching as much as $2,000 or higher at auction. High-grade coins that have been professionally graded by a service like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, are the ones that attract the most attention and can bring in the highest bids. Rarest coins. Now, while the no mint mark error is the most well-known and valuable variety of the 1970 penny, it's not the only one worth paying attention to. There are a few other types of 1970 pennies that could also be valuable, especially if they have unique errors or characteristics. For example, some 1970 pennies have been found with other types of minting errors, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or even filled dies, which can all make a coin more valuable. If you come across a 1970 penny with any of these unusual characteristics, it's definitely worth getting it. Prophecy. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. Today, we're diving into a fascinating coin from the 1970s, the 1977 Lincoln penny. Now, most people think of pennies as pretty common and worth just, well, a penny. But hold on, there are certain pennies, like the 1977 Lincoln penny, that can actually be worth a lot more than face value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, you won't want to miss this video. Let's explore why the 1977 Lincoln penny could be hiding a treasure you didn't expect. Rarest coins. Let's start with the basics. The 1977 Lincoln penny features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. This image has been used on the penny since 1909. On the reverse, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, which has been the reverse design since 1959, replacing the earlier wheat stocks design. Now, the 1977 Lincoln penny isn't as rare as some other coins, with over 4 billion pennies minted that year. But even though it may seem like an ordinary coin at first glance, it's actually become highly collectible for a few key reasons. Let's take a closer look at what makes this penny stand out. One of the most interesting and valuable varieties of the 1977 Lincoln penny is the double die obverse error. This is a classic example of a minting error that occurs when the die used to strike the coin makes multiple impressions, causing the design to appear doubled. The result: you'll see a noticeable doubling effect on the letters, date, and other details on the coin. On the 1977 penny, the doubling is often most visible in the word "A Liberty" and the phrase "A in God We Trust." If you look closely, you'll see a shadow effect or a second outline of the letters, which is what makes these coins so valuable to collectors. Rarest coins. So, if you come across a 1977 penny where the word "A Liberty" or "A in God We Trust" looks blurry or has a second shadow of the letters, you might have a double die penny on your hands, and that could mean a lot more money for you. Now, you're probably wondering, just how much is a 1977 double die penny worth? Well, the value can vary depending on its condition, but it can be quite impressive. In general, a 1977 double die penny in typical circulated condition might be worth anywhere from $50 to $100. But if you've got a higher grade example, let's say, one that's in uncirculated or mint condition, then you could be looking at a value of anywhere from $200 to $500. For the top grade specimens, particularly those that have been professionally graded by services like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, prices can easily climb up to $1,000 or more at auction, depending on rarity and demand. It's all about finding that perfect combination of rarity and quality. Rarest coins. While the 1977 double die penny is the most famous rare variety of this coin, there are other versions of the 1977 penny that might also hold significant value. Some 1977 pennies were struck with other types of errors, like off-center strikes, die cracks, or even the occasional filled die error. These types of minting mistakes can also increase the rarity and value of coin. For example, an off-center 1977 penny where the design is misaligned on the planchet can be quite a collector's find. Coins with unique,